Hey everyone, Kyle here with Engineering Productivity Team. I wanted to take some time to talk through our OKRs and key performance indicators now that we're entering a new month and have some new team members joining. So what we're looking at here is Ally and our Q2 OKRs for this quarter. We have three objective themes: growing the team, expanding review controls and increase awareness of teamwork, and then increasing engineering productivity team efficiency. The 1 and 3, the improving the team, is focused on the team growth. So we have two new team members joining us this quarter, as well as some training and people ops process things to do. So I'm gonna go through and talk through notable updates from recent weeks. So hiring one EP team member, we've hired and onboarded the team member who accepted an offer here in Q2, which has been really exciting. We have a team member who started last week, a team member started this week. We're really excited for them to join the team and start contributing. Next, we have the Engineering Productivity Mid-Year Talent Assessment. This is a pass-through KR from the department. And what that means is our results roll up to overall department KR results. What this is, so this actually starts Wednesday. The mid-year review process starts Wednesday and it's team member led. I have some updates on that in our weekly team meeting last week, and I'm gonna be talking about some changes from last week to this week in this week's team meeting. So catch that for more information. Hopefully we'll see progress on this in the next 2 to 3 weeks. And then for security awareness training, we have all the team members in engineering productivity completed this and confirmed last week, which is great. It is important from a compliance perspective for us to keep our different security compliance certifications. So it's great that we're supportive of that. This is also a pass-through KR. All right, moving into expanding review controls and increasing awareness of work output. We have expanding the required code owner approvals, high impact areas from 1 to 4. So we're currently at 2. We've gone back and forth between 3 and 4 areas on this throughout the quarter. We're going to settle in on 4. Where we're at on this specific KR is that we are trying to make sure we unify the visibility of review requests, because right now they're in between the MR widget and reviewer roulette, which has backend and front end and database suggestions. We want to make sure that the visibility of suggestions that are required MR approvals are also in reviewer roulette until we can migrate all approvals over to code owner rules. Once we get that, we will start working with the database team and pipeline engineering for them to identify the areas of high impact and roll out code owner approvals for their areas as well. Next, a big focus of engineering overall is to reduce overall undefined MR types as a part of the next prioritization working group. So by looking at the type of work that teams are focused on, they can help balance out and align their prioritization guidelines for the 3 work types that we have: bug, feature, and maintenance. This quarter, our team is focused on adding automation to help encourage team members to apply this on the MRs that are in progress. Say apply an MR type to MRs that are in progress. And as of last month, I think we ended at about 7%. So we made great progress from 15 down to 7% and tracking well to 5. And lastly, one of the things we want to do this quarter within the team is create regular channels for engineering feedback. There's an issue linked in this KR and Ally. And we're hoping to make some progress in the later half of this month so that current team members can give us feedback on the tools, their pain points, what's working well, to help give us more qualitative information on areas to focus on, and we can balance that out with our PIs and KPIs. And then lastly, under increasing engineering productivity team efficiency, this kind of spans, I'll say, improvements that we're looking to do as we have new team members starting. So continue building upon guidance in our run book that was started last quarter. This will help us ensure that we can diagnose technical problems quickly within the team that fall under our span of control, as well as equip everyone to kind of be comfortable when problems with review apps or with pipeline stability or specific jobs in the GitLab Rails pipeline come up to make sure everyone's equipped to answer those questions. And then next, looking to update the team handbook content. So we already have some of this going organically this quarter. We wanted to make sure and kind of revise some of the core content on there so that as new team members are there, there's great information for them and they can refer to that as that central hub to link out to all the other resources that the team has. And then lastly, updating our triage operations handbook content. David has started on a proof of concept to add documentation to our code so that we can start to leverage that to build the page that we often refer to when people are asking about different automations and what automations do we have within triage ops and how often do they run and all of that. We're hoping to work towards a more programmatically built page for that. So for now, we're a bit behind, but I still think we're making great progress on that considering work that is not reflected in the KRs here. Lastly, I want to focus in on a few KPIs because we have had a lot of attention on improving KPIs, which falls outside of our OKR work this quarter. One of the main things that we focused on is increasing master stability. So we've had a few issues on, I'll say like upstream challenges and flaky tests that have really brought down our GitLab Rails project master stability rate, which manifests in lower productivity for the overall company because when master is failing, all MR pipelines are failing because we use merge results pipelines, which merge that MR into current master. So any failure that's happening in current master will be reflected in every pipeline and essentially block all work. So what we're looking to do is make sure we're capturing, what we're going to be working towards, I should say, is capturing the data in a more timely fashion on what tests are failing so that we can intercept and act on those quicker, those failures quicker, as well as start to use some automated approaches to take action on flaky specs when they manifest, instead of having it be a manual reactive effort like it is today. Next, review app deployment success rate has also gone down. The reason why this is important is this helps provide end-to-end test feedback and also allow different team members, primarily I would say in UX, to do exploratory testing and provide design feedback, make sure their functionality works. These aren't deployed on every MR, but it is about 60% of all GitLab MRs on that Rails project get a review app today. You see we're improving in June, but we've had a number of similar upstream challenges where the GitLab charts project had a broken master that affected the GitLab Rails deployment process. And then there was some Bitnami overall infrastructure issues, which caused problems way beyond GitLab. But the distribution team helped provide a temporary fix. And we've been in the process of making sure that review apps are able to take advantage of that fix. And then lastly, the third item that I want to call attention to is our pipeline duration. So if you think about it, we need stable GitLab Rails pipelines and eventually expanding us out to the primary projects that are used within our product. But then we also want to accelerate that feedback, make sure that our pipelines are fast. We need to make sure that when there's a failure, it's clear, it's known, it's related to the MR, and then that we accelerate any failure or we accelerate the feedback that this is correct so that a team member or contributor can move on to something else. We are making some progress in June. It is still really early to tell, but you can see here we've increased from where we were around 50 going back to Q4, Q1 to about 60. A lot of this has had to do with review app expansion, but there are also, I'll say there are also our spec job, like our critical path jobs, which is primarily our testing jobs, have started to take a little bit longer due to test load increasing, and we need to look at ways of running less tests or balancing them out a bit more. The team will be looking at this over the next get starting in Q3. Beyond that, those are the items I wanted to cover. I appreciate everybody giving us a watch, and we'll do a check-in here in another 2 or 3 weeks. Thanks.